I'm going to see Caroline Polachek very, very soon, and I'm very excited. Welcome one and all to the second video in my sketchbook series. I don't know why, but when I have this microphone, I feel like I have to get like really close to it and talk really low and like soothingly as if I was filming a podcast, because people do that in podcasts, you know, like whenever they lean into the mic and they're just like, hey. So yeah, welcome. This is, like I said, the second video in my sketchbook series, the second month. If you haven't seen the first one, let me explain it to you. I have this sketchbook that I bought at the beginning of the year in an effort to improve in my sketching practice. I'm keeping a sketchbook. I've had an interesting relationship with sketchbooks for the past few years. I haven't really liked most of the pieces I've done in my sketchbooks, and you can go look at my last video, the first video in this series, to see some of my sketchbooks from the past few years and hear me go through the explanation of them and all that, but we are not doing that in this video. In this video, I'm giving you an update on how I'm progressing in my new sketchbook. I'm trying to A, improve my sketching practice, B, I'm trying to overcome negative thoughts associated with my sketching. A sketchbook is literally a place to practice, a place to work out things. So that is one of my goals for this journey. And then also another goal is kind of an anti-goal. I don't have a time goal whatsoever. No time constraints for this. It would be kind of nice to finish it in a year, and I feel like I could do that because it's not like there's that many pages in here. But if I don't finish it in a year, that's totally fine. This video and this series is sponsored by Skillshare, and my plan is for each video to include a recommendation of one class that I feel would help you if you are also filling a sketchbook right now. Skillshare is a platform with thousands of classes by many different creators, artists primarily. So it's kind of a great place for me that teach many different things, from painting to photography to Photoshop to animating and so much more. I've used their platform for quite some time now, and they've been gracious enough to also sponsor me for a few years now, and I highly recommend it to you guys if you want to learn more about art and improve your skills and just have a fun place to go to learn alongside other people with great teachers. And I have a recommendation for you in this video, of course. This class is short and sweet and great if you are starting a new sketchbook. The full class is only 17 minutes, so it's perfect if you are a busy person like me. The teacher is Jesse Ledoux, and he has worked in illustration for people like Starbucks and Disney and Nike and many other big companies. And he emphasizes the importance of keeping your sketchbook with you at all times for the sake of not only drawing better, but also noticing or seeing things better, remembering better, and thinking better. And he gives several really good tips to help you make these things happen. And if you are watching this video right now, it means that you can try Skillshare out for free. All you have to do is click the link in my description, and the first 1,000 people to do so will be able to try out their premium membership for free. Yeah, you have like nothing to lose, so go check it out. Okay, now that that is all said, we're almost ready to get into the sketchbook update. However, I have one more thing. We are going to decorate my sketchbook. Way too many stickers, but I love them, and this is like one of my favorite parts about getting a new sketchbook, being able to put new stickers on the cover. So let's do that, and then we can get into the update.
Better get up out my way. This is start of a new day. Feel fresher than toothpaste. Singing out, this be the new thing. New swing set. I'ma go for the loop, man. I'm a fruit gone loopy. That's the Sammy the toucan. Screaming out, who cares? My soul bare. I'm done with the cold stare. My heart hang off the tip of my shoestring. Stay untied, that's usual. I'm not put together. Do better than you do. That's magic. I'm voodoo. You a doll playing dress up, but your getup is poo poo. Okay, I'll fess up. I'm messed up, but that's true for you too. We stare at our messages, hoping for contact, like somebody please take us out of this nonsense. The world end after every broadcast, and to save it seem a tall task with no cable.
So I'm gonna do a quick refresh from last time. I'm just gonna flip through these pages and you can go back and see the first video if you would like to hear my commentary on these pieces.
Beep boo boo bop boo boo beep.
And now we get to the new stuff. A week or two ago, I got super into looking up all the old websites that I used to go to. I was like super drowning in nostalgia. I even found a walkthrough YouTube video that showed Barbie websites from like the end of last century to right around 2015 or so. And it was just a walkthrough of all the different versions of the Barbie website, and I found the website that I was used to. I got this screen grab from there. This was a room, I think it was like the closet in the Barbie house thing. You could click on each of these little icons and they would sing. It was like an American Idol Barbie version. And this part of the website has lived in my head for so long. Rediscovering it like a few weeks ago was the first time I had actually seen what it looked like since I was probably like 8 or 9 years old. And so I had an idea for a new art series where I specifically focus on nostalgia from computer websites, then posting them on Instagram or showing them to people and seeing who else shares that same nostalgia with me. So this was the first little sketch. My boyfriend and I grabbed donuts a few weeks ago, and they had their Valentine's Day donuts all displayed out on the table, and I thought it looked really pretty, so I just snapped a picture of those, and then later on when I was wanting to draw something, I pulled up the picture and used that as reference for this. This is just a little sketch of one of my friends that I found on my camera roll. As far as how I feel about this drawing, I'm kind of indifferent about it. It's not really my favorite piece in the book. I was like on a Zoom call, I think, and I wanted to doodle something. So yeah, I don't hate it, but it is fun. And I like that pieces that I draw in this sketchbook could potentially lead to other pieces in the future that are better and more refined. Okay, I love this piece. We were on our way to an artist talk at Stoveworks in Chattanooga. Actually, to be completely honest, right before doing this piece, right around this time, I realized that I had a video coming up, and it was a sketchbook video, and I had only done like the previous 3 drawings that you just saw, and I was like, oh shoot, I need to get some more sketching going. Life gets busy and it's easy to forget, and so I kind of did forget about this book until like the end of last week. But anyway, I picked it up again and I did this little doodle in the car. I just used pen, and then I took my watercolors and used this color to fill in the background because we were driving late in the day. We were kind of heading in towards the sun, so everything ahead of me looked really hazy and had a yellowish, whitish tint to it, blurred out and bright. And so I tried to capture that using this watercolor. And then when I was using the watercolor, it also smeared a bunch of the pen that I had used, and I kind of really loved that effect. And this has inspired me to want to try more pen drawings and then use water over them and just smear them and see what happens. This is definitely something I would probably do outside of this sketchbook. Like, I would have totally done this on a canvas, but for the sake of filling the sketchbook and also just for the sake of this being a very new idea and kind of wanting to play around with it a little bit, I decided to give that space in the sketchbook. What I did for this is put down a layer of gesso so that I had a better surface to paint on, and let that dry, and then I put the paint over it. And this was a lot of fun because I don't usually use these bright colors in my pieces. I do use a lot of color, as you can see in this from my Memorialized series. There is a lot of color in here, but I use the same color palette for all of these pieces. And for this one, I branched out and I used some fluorescent colors from Liquitex. And it was fun to use those because, like I said, that's not what I usually use. But it was super important for me to use them if I wanted to capture the whole aesthetic of the Barbie website. Also, side note, this is the place where that little like American Idol thing was in. I don't remember which part of it you clicked on, but it was in here somewhere. This will grow up to be a series if everything goes to plan, but for now it is just taking root in the sketchbook. Also, side note, I did not make anything clear, like any of the words. So this says barbie.com up here, but obviously you can't read it. And then you can't read any of these words over here either. And that's because I wanted to rely on the collective nostalgia that people would have from this website. Barbie was standing here in the photo that I used, but I took her out because I wanted it to be more of an empty room. When I was playing this game, you know, it was almost like it was my room, like my closet. So I wanted the viewer to be able to put themselves in this place. And I also wanted it to come across as a little bit of a liminal space. And yeah, look forward to more of these in the future. I'll probably be sharing them on my Instagram and probably YouTube as well. So this happened on Saturday, which was about 3 days ago. I went out with a couple friends to a walking trail because both of them wanted to get some good drawing / painting practice in, and I mean, I'm always super down for that. So I went with them and we just made camp on this little patch of grass beside the creek, and I'm really happy with this piece. I love this painting style. It was so much fun. It was very cold for a while, but it was worth it. This is another piece where I'm like, oh man, I kind of wish I had done this on a canvas or something that's not in a sketchbook, but I also want my sketchbook to be filled with things like this, so I can't have it both ways, right? I'll probably end up making this into prints and putting it in my store, but the original I think is going to be staying in my sketchbook. The whole idea of sketching with paint is so cool. It really takes the pressure off of painting, at least in my opinion. I'm sure other people probably don't share that same opinion, but I'm very pleased with it, and I am very happy that I've been able to get to this point in my painting practice where this is just like a practice piece. So a few tips, I guess, for painting outside. This does not look exactly like what I was painting. Unless you're really wanting it to be realistic or even hyper-realistic, I suggest putting away the idea that you're going to be able to paint exactly what you're looking at. If you're just shooting instead for getting it to look good and like a general idea of what you're looking at, then I think that will help you a lot. I used the same brush for the entire piece. I used a big-ish brush about this size. I mean, it's not huge, but it's not small, which most people might want to resort to a small brush, especially when they're going in for the little details and stuff. I did use a small brush when I was doing this, I think, but most everything else I just use that bigger brush for. And that really helps me generalize shapes. It helps me not get too caught up in working on the details. I started with just the general shapes, the general colors, like a big massive green shape for the bank of grass, and then a chunk of blue for the creek, same thing for this part, and then from there you continue to build up the painting by working on the smaller and smaller details. The bushes over here and the shadows here that are slightly smaller shapes but still bigger than like this tiny little stick right here. And then I would just work and work closer and closer until I got to these smaller details. And I didn't stress about drawing each and every tree. This is definitely not accurate to how it looked, but it gets the idea across. You can tell that these are trees because of the vertical strokes and because I added a few details of branches to a few of the trees. So I don't know if that helps you guys, but I feel like talking about my art and my process is probably the best way that I can give advice, by just sharing my own experience with it. Moving on to the next piece. On Friday, I went to the High Museum of Art in Atlanta, and I found a painting that I really liked. I thought the colors were absolutely beautiful, super vibrant, and I wanted to do a little sketch of that piece. I did not have the colors that were in that painting, so this is what happened to it. I don't think this looks really good, but it's like a little, I don't know, it was just a fun little color sketch, color composition thing to do. Yeah, I didn't really like how it came out, but the point wasn't really to completely copy the painting. It was just to observe the painting, and this was my reaction to that observation. And these are my final 2 pieces in here. This was me and Delano at the museum. There's like a mirror or something in the elevator, and so we took a selfie there. And whenever I got back home, I did a little colored pencil drawing of that. And in this piece and in this piece as well, although this one is unfinished, I left the colored pencil unblended. And that's not something I usually do. I usually love being able to blend the colored pencil to where you almost can't even tell it's colored pencil. But once I got done with the unblended version of this, I actually kind of liked how the graininess looked. And so I thought it was a good time to just let myself try a different colored pencil style. And this one over here, this was done after this piece actually. I just pulled up a painting from the museum. I took a few pictures of paintings that really inspired me, and this was one of a tree, and it was another oil painting, super beautiful, very realistic, very vibrant colors, but I was just trying to do a little study of the tree itself. I didn't get to actually finish the coloring, so I'll probably go back to that sometime and finish it up, but just another little study from the museum. Those are all my pieces. Hope you guys enjoyed this sketchbook update, and there will be another one next month. Let me know which piece was your favorite, which ideas you're most excited about. I'd be super interested in hearing that in the comments. And also, if you have anything that you want to suggest for me to draw in the sketchbook, I am super up to hearing those ideas as well. Don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And also, if you're new to my channel and you want to see more videos like this one, please hit that subscribe button. And I will be back soon with more vlogs and more art videos. Goodbye!